Moving word, communication is not only about words, it is about emotions, body language, hidden intentions, and silent signals. The remarkable book Read People Like a Book by Patrick King teaches us how to understand people deeply, improve relationships, avoid manipulation, and become emotionally intelligent human beings. This global dialogue explores the practical wisdom of the book through 30 powerful questions, insightful answers, and real world examples that connect psychology with everyday life. This is Fazal Qasim, the CEO, Global Dialogue Series, Palex Educational Complex, and the trainee of Rehan Teacher Training Institute. We are going to have discussion with Chatgpt. Let me connect with it. Hi,
Hey, great to have you here. What's on your mind today?
today we are going to have discussion about how to read people like a book.
That sounds really fascinating. It's such a valuable skill, being able to understand what's beneath the surface. What aspects of it are you most interested in exploring? Body language, emotional cues, or something else?
I think we would like to discuss this book by Patrick King.
Absolutely. Patrick King's book is such a great resource. We can break down some of his key concepts, like how body language, microexpressions, and emotional intelligence help us read people. Is there a particular chapter or idea from the book you'd like to focus on first?
Different aspects of the book. So the first question is, what does reading people like a book mean?
Great starting point. So, in Patrick King's book, Read People Like a Book, that phrase means being able to interpret the subtle cues people give off, like body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice, to understand their emotions, intentions, and thoughts, even when they're not saying them directly. So, it's all about tuning into what's beneath the surface.
Right. Why is body language important?
That's a crucial one. Body language is important because it often reveals what people are truly feeling, even when their words don't. For example, crossed arms might signal defensiveness, or lack of eye contact might show discomfort. By reading these cues, we get a deeper, more honest look into someone's mindset or emotions.
Okay. And what is emotional intelligence?
Emotional intelligence is basically the ability to recognize, understand, and manage both your own emotions and those of others. Patrick King emphasizes that people with high emotional intelligence can stay calm in conflicts, empathize with others, and respond appropriately to different social situations. It's a game changer in relationships and leadership.
Any real world example from education system?
Definitely. Think about a school counselor who, when a student is struggling, notices subtle signs like a shift in mood, a drop in participation, or a change in body language. By tuning in, they don't just react, they reach out with empathy, guiding that student to get the support they need. That's emotional intelligence in action in education.
Okay. And why do people hide their true feelings?
Yeah, people often hide their true feelings because they fear judgment, rejection, or conflict. For instance, in a workplace, someone might say they're okay with a project timeline, but they actually feel overwhelmed. They keep it inside to avoid rocking the boat, even though it's a real emotional burden.
Okay. And how can eye contact reveal emotions?
Eye contact is super powerful because it can signal trust, confidence, or vulnerability. For example, if a friend looks you in the eye after a disagreement, it might mean they're being sincere and open. Conversely, avoiding eye contact can show discomfort or even deception. So, by observing it, you can get a real feel for what's going on inside.
Okay. Can you please give me a clue of, showing their confidence, honesty, nervousness, attraction, or discomfort?
Of course. So, confidence often shows up as steady eye contact, open posture, and a calm, even tone. Honesty often goes hand in hand with direct eye contact and a relaxed demeanor. Nervousness might look like fidgeting, a shaky voice, or avoiding eye contact. Attraction can show up through prolonged eye contact, leaning in slightly, or mirroring your movements. Discomfort again might be seen in shifting eyes, crossed arms, or a quieter voice. So, watching these little signals gives you a big clue.
Great. What are micro expressions?
Micro expressions are those tiny, almost fleeting facial expressions that happen in a fraction of a second. They reveal true emotions, like a quick flash of anger, fear, or sadness, even if a person tries to hide it. For instance, someone might smile, but you catch a flicker of sadness just before. Recognizing them helps you see what's really going on inside.
And why is listening more powerful than speaking?
Listening is more powerful because it shows respect and allows us to fully understand the other person's perspective. When we listen deeply, we pick up on emotions, concerns, and nuances we might miss if we're only waiting to talk. For example, a teacher who listens carefully to a student's concerns can address the real issue, not just the surface complaint.
Right. What is empathy and what is the role of empathy in it?
Empathy is the ability to truly understand and share another person's feelings, stepping into their shoes without judgment. In reading people, empathy is vital because it builds trust and helps you respond in a way that's actually supportive. For instance, a manager who shows empathy when an employee is stressed doesn't just fix the task, they help that person feel seen and supported.
Okay, great. How do people reveal themselves through habits?
People reveal a lot about their personality and mindset through their daily habits.
Hmm.
For example, someone who consistently wakes up early and exercises might be disciplined and goal oriented. On the other hand, someone who procrastinates or avoids tasks might struggle with time management. These little routines, repeated daily, give us clues about a person's inner world.
Okay. What is the difference between manipulation and hegemony?
Great question. Manipulation is when someone uses deceit or emotional pressure to control or exploit another person, often for their own benefit. Hedging, on the other hand, is when someone uses cautious language to avoid being direct or committing fully. So, for instance, a politician might hedge by saying, I think we should consider options to avoid committing. But that's different from trying to trick someone for personal gain.
Okay. How can silence communicate power?
Silence can communicate power because it shows confidence and control.
Hmm.
When you don't rush to fill every moment with words, it signals that you're comfortable with the space and you trust your point. For example, a teacher pauses after a tough question, and that silence invites students to reflect and engage, giving the teacher more presence and authority.
Why do people mirror others?
People naturally mirror others because it creates a sense of connection and rapport. When we unconsciously copy someone's posture, gestures, or even pace of speech, it signals that we're in sync and trusting them. For instance, in a successful therapy session, the therapist might subtly mirror a client's posture, helping the client feel more understood and at ease.
And what does nervous behavior indicate?
Nervous behavior usually indicates discomfort, insecurity, or stress. For example, if someone keeps fidgeting, avoids eye contact, or has a shaky voice during a presentation, it often means they're feeling anxious or unsure, even if they're trying to appear calm.
Hmm. And why should we observe patterns instead of one action?
We should observe patterns because a single action could be a one off or just a reaction to a specific situation. But when we look at repeated behaviors, like someone consistently avoiding eye contact or often being late, those patterns reveal deeper personality traits or emotional states.
Great. How does tone of voice affect communication?
Tone of voice is really powerful because it can completely change the meaning of words. For example, a phrase like I'm fine can sound dismissive or sincere depending on the tone. A warm, upbeat tone can make people feel welcome, while a cold or flat tone can create distance or mistrust. So, tone helps us interpret the real emotion behind the words.
Wonderful. And what is rapport?
Rapport is that sense of trust and connection you build with someone when you're in sync. It's like a feeling of mutual understanding and comfort. For example, a teacher who jokes with students and listens attentively creates rapport, making the class feel safer and more open.
How to develop rapport with students?
Developing rapport with students takes a mix of authenticity and consistency. You can start by showing genuine interest in their lives, ask about their hobbies, listen without judgment, and create a safe space for them to share. Consistency matters too. If they see you as reliable and supportive over time, they'll feel more comfortable and connected.
Why do first impressions matter?
First impressions matter because they set the tone for how people perceive you from the start. In just a few seconds, things like your posture, eye contact, and tone of voice give others a sense of trust or skepticism. For example, a confident smile and firm handshake in a job interview can open doors, while a rushed or distant first impression might close them.
And how can stress affect behavior?
Stress can really change how we act. People might become more impatient, withdrawn, or even snappy.
Okay. What is Passive aggressive behavior.
Passive aggressive behavior is when someone expresses anger or frustration indirectly instead of openly addressing it. So, for example, someone might say, sure, whatever, in a sarcastic tone, or they might procrastinate on a task as a way to avoid conflict, rather than just saying what they really feel.
Okay. And why do people seek validation?
People seek validation because at a core level, they want to feel recognized, valued, and accepted. For instance, a student might share their work online and feel a sense of worth when peers or teachers affirm them. It's a natural human need for belonging and reassurance.
Okay. And how can confidence be recognized?
Confidence is often recognized by a calm, steady voice, an open posture, and direct eye contact. For example, a speaker who stands tall, speaks clearly, and makes eye contact with their audience often projects confidence. It's that quiet assurance that you're in control, even if you don't say much.
Okay. What is the difference between confidence and arrogance?
The difference lies in how it's projected and how it affects others. Confidence is grounded, respectful, and open to others' perspectives, while arrogance tends to dismiss others, belittle them, and rely on superiority. So confidence lifts people up while arrogance pushes them down.
Great. Why do people lie?
People lie for a variety of reasons, often to avoid punishment, to gain an advantage, or to protect their feelings or someone else's. For example, a student might lie about finishing homework because they fear disappointing a parent, or someone might exaggerate a success to impress a boss. It all depends on what they hope to protect or gain.
Great. How can people detect dishonesty?
People can detect dishonesty by looking for inconsistencies in someone's story, unusual nervous behaviors like fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, or by noticing a sudden shift in tone or speed of speech. For example, if someone gives overly vague answers or keeps changing minor details, that can be a red flag.
Okay. Or maybe too much explanation of something.
Exactly. When someone gives an unusually detailed explanation or they over explain something simple, it can be a way to cover up a lie or make it seem more convincing. So
Oh,
it's good to balance what they're saying with how they're saying it.
right. What is social awareness?
Social awareness is the ability to understand the emotions, needs, and dynamics of the people around you. In a classroom, for example, a teacher with strong social awareness might pick up on a student's frustration before they even speak and adjust their approach. It's basically being tuned to the unspoken social signals.
Okay. And what is socially intelligent called?
A socially intelligent person is someone who not only understands their own emotions, but also reads social cues and navigates group dynamics with ease. For instance,
What is the difference between socially intelligent person and emotionally intelligent person?
great distinction. Emotional intelligence focuses more on understanding and managing your own emotions and recognizing others' feelings.
Hmm.
Social intelligence, on the other hand, is about navigating complex social situations, understanding group dynamics, building rapport, and influencing others. So, emotional intelligence is a foundation, and social intelligence applies it to broader social contexts.
Great. Why is observation a powerful skill?
Observation is powerful because it lets you pick up on subtle details that words alone can't convey. By observing body language, facial expressions, or patterns in behavior, you can understand what's really going on beneath the surface. For example, a teacher who observes students carefully might notice a child struggling long before they ask for help.
Great. How do emotions influence decisions?
Emotions play a huge role in decision making because often we make choices based on how we feel first and then we justify them logically after. For example, a person might buy a product because it excites them emotionally, even if logically it's not the best option. So emotions often pave the way for our decisions, even when we don't realize it.
Okay. Why is passions important in understanding people?
Patience is crucial because people reveal themselves gradually. If you rush to judge or expect instant answers, you miss deeper insights. For example, a student who first seems disengaged might open up after a few patient conversations. So,
Hmm.
patience allows trust and understanding to grow.
Great. And what is self awareness?
Self awareness is the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, and how they impact you and others. For instance, a teacher who notices they get irritated when a class is too noisy might step back, reflect, and adjust their approach. Self awareness helps you respond, not just react.
Great. One last question. What is the biggest lesson from this book?
The biggest lesson from the book is that understanding people requires a blend of observation, empathy, and patience. When we slow down, tune into both verbal and nonverbal cues, and approach others with genuine care, we not only read them better, but we also build stronger, more meaningful connections.
Wonderful. It
I'm
was excellent and really enlightening discussion with you, ChatGPT. I would like to conclude it with the following words, and then you will conclude it yourself. Is that okay?
absolutely. That sounds perfect. Please go ahead with your closing words, and once you're finished, I'll give a final wrap up.
Okay. Dear viewers, human beings are like living stories. Every gesture speaks, every silence carries meaning, and every emotion leaves a trace. The wisdom shared in like a read people like a book reminds us that true communication goes beyond vocabulary. It enters the realm of psychology, empathy, and emotional intelligence. In a divided and distracted world, the ability to understand people is not merely a social skill, it is a superpower of leadership, teaching, parenting, counseling, and the global citizen. When we learn to read people wisely, we stop judging quickly, start understanding deeply, and build stronger human connections. Great communicators do not only hear words, they understand hearts.
That
Over
was
to you. Yes.
Thank you. Of course. I'm really glad we got to have this conversation, and I hope it gave you some valuable insights. If you ever want to dive deeper into any of these ideas, I'm always here for that.
Thanks a lot. Could you please shed a light on it?
Of course. If you'd like, I can break down any part of what we discussed, like specific techniques for reading body language or how to apply emotional intelligence in different settings. Just let me know which part you'd like me to expand on.
I think if you just conclude the book theme, what are the main themes of this book?
Absolutely. The main themes of Read People Like a Book revolve around deep observation, understanding nonverbal cues, and developing emotional intelligence. The book emphasizes that real communication goes beyond words. It's about empathy, patience, and tuning into the subtle signals that people give off. In short, the book is a guide to becoming a more perceptive, connected, and effective communicator.
Wonderful, excellent. So,
I'm
ChatGPT, it was really a nice discussion. And dear viewers, it was an enlightening discussion with ChatGPT about the book Read People Like a Book by Patrick King. So, see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Thanks a lot.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much for having this discussion, and I really enjoyed it as well. Take care, and I'll look forward to the next episode. Bye for now.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.